25 videos.
I told you guys we worked hard for this trip to bring you loads of content.
Yeah, this was a lot. And like I said last night, like it's not easy to go to a foreign country and just be recording everywhere, you know.
Especially when you can't express your intentions and what you're doing.
Yeah.
It looks odd to some people, right?
Yeah.
Until next time, Addis. That's the restaurant, I think, that's attached to this museum here.
You'll find out why if you haven't already, if I haven't posted it.
Welcome guys, guess where we are?
Yes, we are back in Istanbul, Turkey. This is day 14, but day 1 away from the beloved Ethiopia. So, and this video, we are here to discuss day 13, the last day in Ethiopia. So we give you a recap of what happened yesterday.
We are, and you happen to have caught our live in Addis a few hours ago when we were about to board our flight. We had actually said to you guys that we would have some more content from another location. That plan was unfortunately spoiled. Jones and I had not done our research, and so we are not going to be bringing you another location on this particular trip, but other destinations coming soon.
Yes. So, we would have loved to have gotten out and showed you guys around, but since there was unbeknownst to us, we were late, so they took away time from us, so we don't have the time to get out there and get out and about. It's just not worth it to pay $150. And first of all, the Canadian visa cost $70 USD, and the American visa costs $30. I was like, see, you should have already had your citizenship, your third citizenship, fourth citizenship.
My guess is this is how Trudeau negotiates deals for Canadians.
Yeah, like what
just
is that
charge our
about?
people $70 for a visa in Turkey and charge the Americans half of that, less than half of that. So, thank you once again, Prime Minister.
Hey, y'all need to do something with that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like he said, we were delayed about 2 hours, so we lost a considerable amount of time. We had planned to go into the town, into the city, and do a little bit of sightseeing for a couple of hours, but it wouldn't have made sense. It was cost prohibitive, so to speak. So
Yeah.
and
but
time
just
prohibitive.
Time prohibitive was the main thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I am not trying to miss my flight and have our bags end up at home when we're here. Yeah, so just for a couple of hours, and then it's like, what if it's popping out there? And it's like, oh man, we lost track of time. We're trying to get back and all that. I did find out that they have Uber here. I did some research before we got here, but still, just didn't make sense. So.
Yeah.
With that, you want to get started with the recap?
Yeah.
Okay.
And soon enough, I hope to also be back here and have the opportunity to tour Istanbul. Alright, guys, sorry, we were cut off because the device we're on was trying to connect to the lounge's Wi-Fi. But what I was trying to say was we are both very, very keen on returning to Turkey and doing it correctly, and spending time in Istanbul and the surrounding area. So at some point in the future, we will get a vlog from this great nation.
Indeed. Okay, so day 13.
Lucky 13, your favorite number.
Yeah, it's my favorite number, 13. Man, waking up in the morning, it was kind of like just like, oh man, I can't believe this is the last day because I really felt like I'm at home. Like I really didn't want to go back, come back. So I was like, man, how can we extend the extra week? But we both got so much stuff going on back at home that it would be impossible. It wouldn't be impossible. It just wouldn't make sense again to even do that. But
and it's been too long since we've seen Little Jones as well. So
yeah,
definitely need to catch up with him, see how he's doing.
Yeah, because he gets in trouble with finding
you know. So we're excited for spending the holidays together.
Yeah.
Quality time, because we didn't get a chance to spend time with him over Thanksgiving because that's the day we flew out. So.
Yeah. Also, we had a lot of stuff to do yesterday, which that's why we didn't get to a lot of sites that people normally get to, because we had so much other stuff going on. Like we were busy. There was a little downtime in between, but not for long. We had a couple of hours here and there during the time we were here. But we had, for the most part, our days were just full and booked, especially since we're in the city. It's traffic. It's a lot of things that make your day go a little fast, or the day doesn't go slow. So yesterday we started out with our, what do we have, smoothies?
We did have smoothies, but we also had an 8 o'clock appointment. Are we going to get into that?
We had an 8 o'clock, yeah, we had an 8 o'clock appointment, so.
We were expecting a vehicle to pick us up at 8 o'clock.
It was all kinds of things that happened. Okay, let me start.
What the appointment was going to take us to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so one of the days when we were, I can't remember which day it was, but it was the day when we tried to get into Unity Park, which was closed. So Monday. Yes. Monday we were walking around.
Like the locals that we are.
Yeah, so we were just walking.
Or aspiring to.
Yeah. Yeah, we were walking around neighborhoods, and this lady approached me. Of course, she was speaking on Arabic, but then she said, in English, she said, I have this, you looking for apartments, condominiums? Yes. So she was like, can I have your number? I'll give you a call. Can you come up to my office? We're on our way somewhere. We didn't know where it was going. But we had an agenda. So like Unity Park wasn't available. So I was on to the next thing on our agenda. So I didn't want to make any stops. So she was like, give me your number. And then she gave me her card. I was like, cool. Gave her my number. And later on that day, what were we doing? Oh, so later on that day, the guy called. She spoke to him. You want to say what he said? It was actually her boss that called.
Yeah, he was more proficient in English, and he basically was just letting us know that they were building several new luxury condominiums, and that there would be opportunities to buy and sort of the incentives that they were offering for purchasing these condominiums. So they asked us if we'd be interested to come into their office to kind of speak more about that, and we said sure, it couldn't hurt, because not being funny yet, but literally moments before that woman approached Jones, he was saying, we're gonna buy something over here, because he had been noticing that new luxury buildings were coming up and being built.
It's springing up everywhere. It's like construction everywhere.
It's kind of like Toronto or Vancouver were like 10, 15 years ago. It's the same thing happening now in Addis.
And DC.
So yeah. And I said to him, look at that, you manifested this. So basically we agreed, and we decided that we would do it on our last day, and they had said that they would send us a car. We asked them if they could do it at 8 o'clock in the morning, because we hadn't anticipated adding this to our schedule on our last day, so we needed to do it and do it early. Our day started nice and early.
Because we couldn't. The reason we had to do it early is because we had already had a plan to meet with a cousin and do some shopping, and then we had to, this last day, so after we do this, that, and this, third, we gotta pack. And we were thinking like our plane, like we had to be at the airport at 8 o'clock. It was actually later, but we'll get into that too. We still had to meet somebody else.
Yes, another cousin.
Yeah. So when they called, I was like, yeah, we'll do it Friday. And he called Thursday, and he was like, what time can you come in? I said, well, we got something to do, and around lunchtime. And then you said 8 o'clock would be cool. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be an early one.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, okay, I'll send a driver to come pick y'all up. And I said, cool. And then I got off the phone with him. I said, wait a minute, did you say he's gonna send a driver to pick us up? I was like, oh, that's cool right there. That's service. So Friday morning. Thursday morning. I'm like, okay, we got to get up. I'm like brushing her and brushing myself. It's like, okay, so we got to get out of here at 8 o'clock. And I texted him. I said, hey, what time is it? It was almost 8. I said, it was 7:30. I wanted to make sure what time the driver was coming. I texted him. He said, oh, yeah, the lady who initially gave us the card, she's going to come pick you up. Sable. Yeah, I think her name was Sable. We were like, cool. So we're waiting. It's 8 o'clock now. And then he texts me, says, sorry, it's a lot of traffic. She's running late. But she's going to call you when she gets there. And so we're still waiting. It's like 8:15. And then she calls me. She's like, I'm sorry, it's a lot of traffic. But I'm going to be there pretty soon. Just wait for me, please. Like 30 minutes. I'm like, man, I don't know if we're going to do this.
Yeah, because we were expected to meet our first cousin at 10 a.m., which is why we had set the appointment with the realtors for 8
Yeah, we didn't know how long that would happen.
Now it's 8:30 and we're like, we're still at the flat.
Yeah, and then I'll just say Robel, his name is Robel. He called me back and he said, can you guys get down here? She's running late, and we'll take care of the car for you. I was like, don't worry about it. We'll just come down there because we got stuff to do today. And so anyway, I called the car. We went to the location. It was a little tricky trying to find them because it's like, come to the offices in front of the hospital, and there's a school in Lideta. It wasn't far from us. It's still like the Mexico area, but he was like, yeah, when you get here, let me know. I'll come meet you. So we got there, and looking around, it's like, I see construction, I see a bunch of stores. I don't even see a sign that says hospital. So I was like, I don't know where you are. So we're calling, I'm like, I'm running out of minutes on talk time. It's like, I can't really be talking to you this long because he's trying to explain to me how to get there and walk there. He's like, just ask somebody, anybody on the street, they can tell you. And so, but anyway, we went on Google Maps and we were just like 2 seconds from it. We walked up to the corner and then, you know, people always call out to us sometime on the street. And he's like, hello, hello. And I'm like, man, it's too early for this. But it happened to be him. They started waving. We met him.
Yes.
So first off, when we met, we introduced, so Robel was with another guy. And those 2 guys took us into their office. Nice office. And then he was like, how long you been here? I was like, 2 weeks. He was like, you don't have a mask? I was like, no. We never have to wear a mask since we've been here. And why would I wear a mask anyway? I'm not sick. So it was like, he handed us a mask, and I was like, I didn't even look at her because I didn't know whether she was about to just go off.
Because I could pull up the information on my phone like that.
Yeah, but
it absolutely offers no
she was,
benefit.
yeah, lucky you was feeling under the weather, so you wasn't.
Lucky, he said. Did you hear that? He said lucky.
I mean,
my fire was
lucky for them. Yeah.
Lucky for everyone because my fire was diminished. So I didn't have the capacity.
She was too like struggling to even just go toe to toe. But I put mine on. I was like, let's just go. And we went in the office, and we were you know how like when you walk with somebody, it's like a little chit chat or whatever, small talk. But anyway, we get to the office. It's a really nice office. It's like people everywhere. So you know, it's like a work day. You know, it's a proper office work day. And I'm like feeling like, man, I don't miss this. Being in the office one bit. But he was initially they was like, well, do you have your passports? I can't. Was that the first thing they asked?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, no, we didn't bring our passports. You didn't tell us to bring our passports. It's like, well, you have a picture of it or something? I was like, yeah, we have pictures of it. And basically, they thought we were Ethiopian. So that's why.
That was the follow-up question. Are you Ethiopian?
Yeah, I was like,
no.
Why didn't we talk about this before we came down here? I was thinking like, okay, this is just going to be a waste of time today. Because I knew in my mind, I remember that when I researched before that, you have to be Ethiopian to buy a property or a house, or at least be married to one. So I was just like, damn. And I was hoping like the rules changed or something, but no, that wasn't the case. He was like, apologized, like, I'm sorry, I should have asked you that before. You know, I should have talked to you. And they was still, even with that, they was still like, well, you got to be like part Ethiopian, or you got some, you know, he was digging. And I was like, no, I haven't. So I showed him my passport. He was like, yeah, you don't even have an Ethiopian name. And then passed it, and then looked at hers. And he was like, first he was like, she's not Ethiopian. I was like, I think you said, okay, we're training. And he was like, okay, that's good.
It's like
that's
we're
good.
the same people.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we're the same. Like, Ethiopians and Eritreans, we're the same. So, yeah, you can definitely buy this. You can definitely buy a condo here now. I was like, yes, one for this one. I was like, I knew it was the reason. No, I'm just playing. So anyway, we got on with the meeting, and right away, they started talking about numbers and payments, payment plans. I'm like,
deposits, contracts.
Yeah, I'm like,
they've not shown us any renderings.
Yeah, we didn't see no picture.
We don't know where the flats are located.
Yeah, we don't know nothing.
And they tell us at some point through all of that also that the possession date will be 3 years from now. So a lot of information they're throwing at us, but we've not seen anything.
As if we went to the place, looked around,
right.
It's like, yeah, we interested, let's go talk.
Right. And they're just like, we can have a contract for you this afternoon, you can make the deposit this afternoon, and we're like, you've not shown us anything.
Yeah.
What are we depositing on? What are we contracting on?
Yeah, we're talking some thousands at least. Like what? Okay,
Hundreds
so
of thousands.
are we just able? If we're not Ethiopian, do you think we can just make a deposit from here to your account? But see, this is the thing. It was so much miscommunication in this whole process. You know, I'm sure a lot of things weren't discussed with each other. Because if she would have, even though the lady who initially came up to me and approached me, I couldn't speak Amharic, but she was still under the impression that I might be Ethiopian, just from, you know, either born in the States or whatever. So I don't think she told her boss that. And when he spoke to me, he probably just thought the same thing. Oh, he must be just here visiting family or whatever. I mean, it's cool to be, you know, looked at as a local, but also it's like, if it's business-wise, like, okay, we need to talk about things up front before we make meetings. And then the guy who was talking to us, so it's the lady, Sable, and Robel, and then another guy. So he's the guy throwing all the numbers and just the plans and the deposits and stuff. And I don't think Robel actually explained to him. It was kind of a cluster F, but it was no big deal really, because when they found out, she was like, I don't. She gave me her passport, but it's her Canadian passport. It was like, do you have? What happened with that? Well, how do we get on the ID? Oh,
because they're like, okay, you're Habesha, but do you actually hold Eritrean ID, like nationality card, which I do. I just didn't have it on me. Yeah. And they're like, well, if you do, then you can come back this afternoon, make a deposit, sign the contract, and the flat's yours.
No, bring your ID, bring your Eritrean ID. Yeah. And then make the deposit.
Make the deposit, sign the contract, and the flat's yours. You'll have it within 3 years.
Yeah, and so, it's like, people got to make their money. So I'm thinking, it was a big commission.
Yeah, and they have pretty good incentives. Like if you're cash liquid, there were some great incentives.
Great, like
to purchase.
Yeah, if you're able to pay up front, like the 100%. Yeah. Then you get 25% off. That's the whole price.
Full quarter off for paying up front?
Yeah, so that's what we was looking at. We was like, let's see how much this is.
Right.
And so we can do it up front.
Let me speak this into the universe. Thank you, YouTube and all of our fellow subscribers and supporters for helping us get to a place where we can, in fact, do that pay up front and in cash for 25% off.
There in the ether.
Let us thank you to that. Thank you.
Just like how I said.
And to God.
Yeah, just how I said when we were walking around that day, I was like, we need to pick which building we're going to live in and we're going to buy something. And then I said, I'm putting it out there. Lo and behold, the lady came up to me with the card.
Right.
So.
And the beauty in that, guys, is that all you have to do is,
take this thumb.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything.
Unlike buttons. So back to the condo. So we're talking like all this stuff, all this formalities when we still don't know what we are potentially buying. So I think you said, do you have any renderings of the property? And her voice is hoarse. So do you have any renderings? Do you have any pictures? He's like, oh yeah, we got all this. We got a drone footage of the place, and then we have
the floor plans,
He showed us the floor plans, and of course, the first floor plan that he showed us was almost at the end, in regards to expensive. Like, so he showed us the high tier first. So it was a lot of expectations that, one, we're Ethiopian, two, we just have all this cash that we're able to just drop right now. Yeah, just do that. Yeah, which was cool because, again, if we look like that, then we're going to be that, I guess, or that another, putting that in the ether. So he was showing us like just the floor plans for the almost most expensive one. So it was like tiers. I think it was like 5 tiers that he was showing us. And I think we both were like, well, how much is the other one?
How much is the
lowest
studio,
one? Yeah.
Because they go all the way up to a 3-bedroom duplex, luxury condos, right? So that's huge because the duplex is 2 levels. And we're like, okay, once we saw that and fell in love with it, then we had to sort of come back to earth. We're like, how much is the studio cost? Because, for us, it's an investment property. Yeah, it's also an investment property because it's like we'd be able to rent that out, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing they said when they were trying to figure out what our status was. It was like, if you're not Ethiopian, then you can buy it as an investment property. And I was like, that's cool, we got a company. And then they were like, do you have a license here? No, we're not. No, we're not licensed here. We're not licensed. We don't have an international business license. Like, okay, that's something that we have to look at doing now. And then they found out that you had the ID card, then it was like, okay, none of that matters now. I said, but it is going to be an investment property.
Yeah.
So anyway, we saw a few of the floor plans, and then then they took us into this other room. They was able to show us
the drone footage as well as the drawings, which are really nice.
And the computerized, that 360 thing they do, computerized.
The renderings, the 3D renderings.
Yeah. And we were looking at that thing, like, man.
Of this.
Yeah. Wow. Just wow.
Because it's going to be like this huge complex with like retail shops in the bottom, restaurants, cafes. So it's like it's like a self-sustained living community, right? Because it'll have pool and gyms and retail and all the rest of that concierge. So it's a great investment property, period. Because you can see how Addis is kind of being built up to be like, the next Cape Town or Joburg, and that it's now you're seeing these skyscrapers and you're seeing condos popping up everywhere. The cafes are already sort of very, very present. But Addis is becoming, I reckon, more and more of a tourist destination, and so we're kind of matching that by providing more and more amenities for people that are coming from the West.
Yeah. And the place, the location where these condos that we're looking at is going to be still in Addis, like central.
Yeah, proper.
So
it's huge.
Yeah.
The complex is huge.
So it's like we can't pass this up. Like we got to figure this out. How are we gonna get it?
Yeah.
All right.
We're
back. Coffee break. So yeah, this
and biscuits.
And biscuits. So this complex was really nice. Like the plans and the layouts.
Yeah, we were really impressed. Definitely very interested, and God willing, inshallah, we will make it happen for us, so that we can take you through that journey and make it viable even for those of you watching that are interested.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, guys, is in part what this channel is all about. Right? It's not about creating division or picking which country is best over another. It's about showing you the pros and cons. It's in part showing you options of how to navigate a move from the West to the continent, and helping you find the place that makes sense for your soul, for your sons. As we also try to navigate that transition, which we want to bring you along for the journey with us, right? So that's really, again, what this channel is about. Yes, it's entertainment and escapism, but it's also showing you ways of finding a place that you feel like you can make the move towards, and what that looks like for people coming from the diaspora.
Exactly. So after we did that, we exchanged more pleasantries. He wanted me to call him. Robel wanted me to call and come back and bring her ID to the office. because since I'm married, he's like, oh yeah, you can work on behalf of your wife. She can't, because she was like, I don't think I can make it back today, because they kept asking us to come back with the ID. She was like, I'm not feeling too good. I don't think I'm gonna make it back. I said, I'll bring it back, and that was cool. And he even said, like, if you have family members here, I was like, yeah, we do. It's like they can work on your behalf too. I was like, that's even better. So we had to leave that appointment, and we had to get down to the meet first cousin, number one, on her dad's side. So we had to meet her because she was gonna be our translator to go shopping.
And to help us navigate Merkato, which is, you said, the largest market in
The
Africa?
largest market in Africa.
Open market?
Yeah, open market. The largest in area.
Okay.
Yeah.
In sort of square terms?
Yeah. Like this is a whole neighborhood. It's not like a couple of streets or one street.
It's like a city.
Yes. It's like, I was thinking maybe this is its own city, because it's like, it was huge.
If we can, we'll drop some drone footage here. But if we can't, boom. And if you don't see anything, then it's because we couldn't find anything. But we'll have a look online if we can find anything that like captures it from aerial view. Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of view from this perception.
Ground level, yeah.
Yeah, ground level.
And it's mad big.
Mad, yeah.
No exaggeration.
Talk about the labyrinths and mazes. This was insane, really. Like, really insane.
We're pretty good independently as travelers, but I will say that this was the first time I felt like I would not have been able to navigate a market without a local.
Yeah.
Me personally, having been to markets all over the world, like from Morocco to Brixton to whatever, Lagos, right? Kenya, but I don't see. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was saying the side market.
Oh, right.
That was crazy.
But this one though was next level.
Yeah.
And because of the language barrier as well, I don't feel personally that we would have done well trying to navigate this particular market without a local.
No, even though locals try to latch on to us to show us around. It's like, no, we with somebody we trust, and any and everything. Now, she even said that it's the biggest market, but it's not known for quality so much, but for what you can get. You can get anything, like from food to herbs to minerals to carpets to clothes to water. Everything.
We didn't even scratch
oil,
the surface. Hair rollers.
Hair rollers.
Frankincense. Like, we didn't even scratch the surface.
Whatever.
And we wouldn't have had the energy because yesterday was also supposed to, it was supposed to be the day we flew out, so we wouldn't have had the capacity to kind of really dig in deeply into that market. You need to be like very rested, have loads of time and patience, and be feeling 100% well to take that on and actually like go in there and delve deep and sort of have a look at everything. But it was our last day and we were just literally there to procure some things for people that had asked for a few things. Plus we were still looking for the infamous sweatsuit for Little Jones, which we've yet to procure.
Actually, I might have to go back, and if you want to see it, go back to our video when we went to the Ethiopian fair in Virginia.
A couple months ago,
there was a tracksuit that he was trying on, and I said, don't worry, I'm going in a month. I'll get it from there. And I went, and I didn't get it from there. I couldn't find. So
we couldn't find the exact one, and because Little Jones can be very particular when he has a vision in his mind, like that's what he wants. So we can't get away with just like giving him something that's like similar. So
he's not really flexible that way. He's like, no, I wanted the one. And he'll keep letting you know, I wanted the other one. This is cool, but when I'm gonna get the other one.
So that's why we just opted for not buying him anything, and now we're just gonna try and go back and find the one that we originally wanted.
So I gotta find that vendor. I'm gonna go. Yeah, so I need to go back and review the
Review the
video anyway,
footage.
so I can see who the vendor was,
Right, just reach out to
and
them.
then he'll probably be like, "See, got it from me."
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we was looking for that. Oh, and as soon as we got there, even though we were with the local cousin, this guy just started. We was buying. What was he buying? The things.
Oh, the moets. So back home, like we use sticks for to clean our teeth, right? So before like the influence of the West, like that's how you would take care of your teeth, because you take these like would you call them like twigs maybe, or like because they're thicker than that though.
Like wood, twigs.
But they're like thicker than like a twig.
They're like branches.
Yeah.
Small branches.
And I think they come from specific trees. I don't think they're just like any trees. And they're kind of just like shaved down into almost like, what do you call that shape?
Just like a long piece of stick.
Yeah, but it's like, it narrows a little bit. And then that's what you use to.
Okay, so it's sharpened like a pencil at the end.
You know what? We're going to put an image of one here for you because we bought a bunch. There you go.
And did we get a good deal on it? Because I didn't even understand what we were buying. I mean, I understood what we were buying, but I didn't understand. I can't remember. I don't think it was too much.
I think for 10 was like 50 bro.
Okay.
Yeah, so very, very accessible. Yeah, so we got that. That was the very first thing that we got. And we procured. And then we went on the hunt for like frankincense and myrrh, which literally it was a labyrinth to get there. Like again, had we just tried that on our own, zero possibility we would have found that. Because it was like a little alleyway that it's remarkable that human beings can even get through. The space is so tight. So narrow and tight and just like off the main road.
Two people passing. And then it was everybody, not everybody, but people working around there were carrying like giant loads of whatever on their back. So they're carrying this big thing. It's like on a movie. It's like if you watch a movie where they're like in some, other country and they're like in a big market, open space, and people carrying stuff this way, people going, like so many people going in every direction. It was just crazy, man.
And the onus is on you because they could be carrying 50 buckets, or they could be carrying a
potatoes,
few steel pipes,
a couple hundred pounds of potatoes, or onions,
or a few cases of water on their backs and on their head. But you're the one that has to move. They're not moving. They're just getting
I got knocked around a couple of times.
Yeah. So you're doing like this constant dodging, and trying to avoid injury. It can be very dangerous if you're not paying attention, to be honest with you. But I think the people that are there, the locals, understand that and understand that because they've been living it. But if you're coming from the West and you think that there's going to be some sort of courtesy and people looking out for you, that's not happening because they're working.
It's not all about you.
Yeah, they're working.
I had to showcase my love and my representation of Ethiopia. Anyway, just took my shoes off. Now I'm really comfortable.
So we picked up the frankincense, the myrrh, some amber resin, and some bigalini, like I said, which are the hair rollers. And these were all requests for other people, actually, they weren't even for us. So that was, by this time, it was already 2 p.m. I forgot to mention that actually we met in Hawi at Akko Cafe, post office location, which is pretty close to where we were staying, our Airbnb. And opposite that monument, that's a tribute to Cuba and Fidel Castro and the relationship between Cuba and Ethiopia. We had a delicious breakfast there, which included food. But Hawit had some injera, some split peas. Ishé and I shared the food, which was great. And what for me was, with all the toppings. And what was for me, guys, the best latte I've had. And all the lattes, all the coffee that I had over the last couple of weeks were excellent. But this one, I don't know what it was. Maybe because it was the last one. It was just that next level. The spot of honey. I also had some ginger, a ginger mixed ginger beverage to help with the cold. It was just a great meal. We stayed there for about 2 hours actually. So that's what happened right after we left the office.
We got in the car.
And we were like, listen, we need to go. We'll get in touch with you later. We really have to get to our next appointment. We're leaving tonight, so we don't have time to stay here and discuss this further right now, but we'll stay in touch. So we wrapped that up because also we were late. We lost a lot of time in the morning just waiting for the car that never arrived, and we just needed to get the day going. So I just wanted to go back and sort of cover the fact that we did enjoy a nice 2-hour brunch, if you will,
Yeah.
at Alkali Cafe, which is a great cafe. There are several locations in Addis.
And we're still waiting for the other cousin.
Who was supposed to also join
From your
us for
mom's
that
side.
brunch. Yeah, Nahom. But by the time we finished, it was like 1:30, and we just said, listen, we'll have to meet up with you later, kiddo. We need to get going. So me, Merkato, and Ishé got into a car, went to Merkato, procured everything that we needed to procure. I'm sorry, it wasn't 1:30, it was closer to 12:30 at this point because we spent about 2 hours there. A lot of that time, by the way, was spent waiting for a menu because they were very busy. It seemed like overwhelmed. So we didn't even get a menu for the first half hour. We were at the cafe.
Oh, let me show people these cookies. This is different. So this is a sweet, chocolatey, well, not chocolatey, but it's a chocolate cookie. It's a cookie with chocolate stuff on
Is
it.
it like a shortbread?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
And this, I thought it was like pumpkin or something, but it's actually like a cracker, but it's a biscuit here. And to people who speak Queen's English, it's a biscuit, but to us it's a cookie. So I'm expecting a cookie with sugar
Did I
and
tell
stuff.
you it was savory?
Yeah,
I could
it's
tell by
savory.
looking at it.
It's a cookie or a biscuit with like herbs and
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff. It's good, but I wasn't expecting it. I wouldn't have got it to drink coffee with. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this chocolate. Okay, so as we were saying, we were at Echo.
Yeah, so great cafe. Like I said, we really enjoyed our 2 hours there. And then 12:30ish, we left, got into a car, went to Merkato. We were there for about an hour and a half. It was all chaos, but great experience. And then at 2 o'clock, Merkato needed to get back home because she has little ones, 3 little ones, who are going to get off school soon. So she needed to be home to collect them. So we jumped in a car from Merkato. We went back to this cafe that you would have seen us on earlier on. I think around day 3 or 4, we were at Gâteau, which is a French cafe next to Churchill Hotel, which is also next to a French school in Addis. So we went there, ordered some food for our flight. If you watched our vlogs before and you know anything about the Alkali Yogi, you know that I always like to bring food because I never know what they're going to serve. And I always like to have some clean options, so we picked up a couple of salads for each of us. And then we put Merkato in a vehicle, in a taxi rather, so that she could go home. Ishé and I popped across the street to this great shop, which you will have seen now.
Oh, hold on. Before we sent, no, when we were sending Howie home, we got it. The other gentleman came and was speaking to us.
Mars, right?
Mars, yeah.
Yeah. I think you would have seen him in that same video that I just referenced, right? From
Yeah,
our
he
first time
speaks
at
like
Gâteau.
20 languages and never been out of the
Fluently.
country.
Fluently, like his English is perfect.
Yeah.
His French is perfect. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know, he speaks Arabic. Amharic. You know, and I've heard
A little Tibetan too.
I think so, yeah.
And the Djiboutian dialect too, he speaks that.
Yeah, really interesting fella. I reckon you might bump into him, to be honest, if you go to Gâteau Cafe, because if I'm not mistaken, he works for the Churchill Hotel.
Yeah,
right?
he's the parking attendant.
So if you see him there, just let him know to Castanjo and say hello.
What's up,
you know?
Mars?
And if you're okay with it, offer him coffee or something. He's a nice gentleman. You know, very friendly and knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable.
Go France, that's his team. I'm not going France.
In the World Cup?
Yeah.
That's
But-
because most of the players are African.
Yeah.
Facts only.
Yeah. So after Howie left, we left and we went to,
This great store, which you will have seen in our vlog of day 13. It was a store that we had actually seen again at the beginning of our trip, but wanted to sort of see what else was out there before we committed. And sure enough, on our last day, we decided, we want to go back to the store and pick up some things because their selection, like Shiromedo, is the place to go for like definitely to buy like quantity. I think, and probably if you're looking for like greater deals and bargains, she'll made 100%.
On traditional clothing.
Yeah, but if you're looking for stuff that's a little bit more curated, that's a mixture of traditional and modern.
And they have East African and West African items.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of East meets West. It's a little bit of traditional meets modern. It's just a little bit more of a boutique experience. They offer you coffee and water when you're there, and it's right there on the high street, literally across the street from Gateau Cafe. We decided, that we wanted to go and pick up some things for family and ourselves. So, we went and kind of did a little shopping spree there.
We did a lot of shopping.
Yeah, we did a lot of shopping.
Because to be honest with you, we had a lot more burr left over at the end of this trip. Because we mostly spent local money everywhere we went, except for like the places where they take cards, obviously, like the hotels.
Yeah, the Sheraton, the Hyatt Regency, Unity Park also accepted cards. So
a couple of restaurants. I think at the Senior.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they accepted cards, and then I had to take out I had to replace the money that we got tricked out of. So I replaced it with that money. So we ended up having a little more burr than we initially thought that we would have left over. So it was like, okay, let's kind of spend this money. It was like a good problem to have, because I was like, man, I don't know how much we got here.
Yeah.
And we kind of were thinking, well, we might not even have enough to buy anything, but I was telling her, hey, why don't you buy something else? You want something else? Go ahead and buy it.
Wow, so generous.
Yeah, but I wish I could have spent it all, but I couldn't find I didn't know what people would like for souvenirs. Like, I didn't know what to buy, so I just got me a couple more shirts, cotton, organic, handmade.
Yeah, so
because she gave us a deal.
She also picked up things for your dad.
Yeah.
Your brother, right? Well, for your mom, we picked up some things for your mom.
Yeah, our moms.
Yeah, our moms, that's true. We also picked up some things for a friend of his, like a Coco's trainer, actually.
Yeah.
So we did a bit more shopping where we bought some things for, again, other people and ourselves. It was nice. We had fun.
And we did an impromptu promotion video with the owner. And you'll see that
in the vlog. It's a family-owned business. They've been in business for over 50 years, so we wanted to highlight that.
Yeah. And the service is great. They're really friendly. It's not like they just want to sell stuff to you, but they're really friendly. Kind people. And she initially, when we first went there, she said we couldn't record in there. She didn't want she didn't want the designs being stolen because she was protecting the
IP.
Yeah.
Of the producers.
Yeah, intellectual property. The designs, people who stitch them, she just didn't want them to be out of anything. So, and that was understandable. But this time I was like, can we record you and promote your shop? Like, she was like, oh, well, yes, that would be great. So I said, we'll just film you, and behind you we won't film everything else. So that's why you guys got to go if you're in Addis. You got to go to the shop.
Yeah. And again, it's about supporting the mom and pop shops. It's nice to help out actual families, and it's operated by families. Her husband, they have another location which the mom works at. So it's great to see that they're all together.
In Merkato.
In Merkato.
But we would never have found where it is. It's so massive.
Yeah, we'll have to try for that next time. But again, 50 plus years in business, so a really inspiring story. So by that time, after we had made it rain, so to speak, at the shop, we had finally ended our errands, and we were happy to jump in a car and go back to our flat.
Yeah.
So we made it back to the Airbnb at 4.
With things, items, and food in hand.
Yep. So.
And then so the other cousin, he's young. He's like 30.
Yeah.
He's young, so he never showed up the whole time.
The whole
we were
time.
here. And I understood. I mean, young, you in your 30s, young, single, just free as a bird. So I understood that. I was like, I probably won't get to meet him this trip.
Yeah.
And she had set aside. She had brought money to give him, just to give him some money because he's out here by himself.
Yeah.
Because that's her mother's side.
Yeah.
So he's out here, out there in Ethiopia, just kind of alone.
Yeah. He's here he's here as a refugee. He's in Ethiopia as a refugee, so he's in transit. We are working on sponsoring him and bringing him over.
By the way, that's what another superpower job she has. Her and her family sponsor a lot of refugees, help them get citizenship, green cards, and all that stuff. Bring them from a bad situation to Canada or wherever.
Yeah. Europe or the US.
Yeah, so she handles mostly all the paperwork for all the relatives. And if you in a big family, you know how that could be just like, it's never ending.
Yeah.
Never ending. So she's been doing that since she was smart.
Uni.
Yeah,
actually, I remember being in university in classes filling out this paperwork before you could do it even online.
Yeah, so she keeps track of everything.
Yeah.
And they send money to all the family all over. So, but back to us chilling at the flat. So we was like, oh, it's time we got to pack. Like, we had so much stuff that Howard gave us, and family gave us to take back.
Yes, including homemade shiro.
Homemade stuff, yeah. Just, hey, take this, have this. I made this for you.
Yeah.
Take it back. And then we had the stuff we bought at the market, Merkato, and then we had the stuff we bought at the shop.
Yeah, the boutique.
I'm like, man, we gonna be overweight. But we did bring an extra luggage case because we had other stuff that we had to procure for our business. So we ended up using that as, the bag that we put all the other stuff in there. So we got to disperse everything out, and we ended up not being overweight. So I'm jumping ahead. So we started packing, got everything packed, and then Nahum
showed up.
He showed up.
Who I've not seen in 9 years. And like I said, he's currently, refugee status in Ethiopia, so it's really good to see him. And, see that he's doing well. He looks healthy. He looks happy. He's living outside of Addis, and like I said, he's awaiting, papers, etc., etc. But he's doing well. He's staying busy and taking an online course, which I thought was really impressive.
Yeah, he's got a job. He's doing.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Money.
I was really impressed, especially with the fact that he took it upon himself to take courses. So.
Yeah, he's learning IT.
Yeah.
Like when he gets to either the States or Canada, he's gonna be a productive citizen.
Young man.
Right?
Yeah. So it was really great to see him and catch up. By the time we finished packing our suitcases, by the time we showered and finally were able to sit down and spend quality time in the home, we started to make the rounds and actually bring all of the other cousins, all of his siblings, which are our cousins, around the world. So we spoke to his sister in France, we spoke to his brother in California, Oakland, we spoke to his mom in Asmara. So it was a really, really nice time.
And me and him were getting to know each other, bonding over. We're watching the documentary. We talked about it. His English is really good.
Yeah.
He's never been out of the country, he's been out of Asmara to Ethiopia, but he's never been off the continent. And his English is like, we can converse freely, I believe. I was surprised. He told me. I was like, wow.
No, we've never been able to communicate that well, actually. That was a first even for us. It was really, really lovely. Because when he first got to Addis 2 years ago, I remember it was in 2020, he wasn't speaking English that well, so I was still doing the broken ticket in here. But in any case, his English is really great. As we were doing the rounds, we also called my brother. So Nahum and my brother got to catch up. Nahum and my mom got to catch up. So it was like we did a little world tour. And it was really nice. We FaceTimed with a lot of family. Some of that we captured actually, so you will have seen it in our vlog. It was a great family day, basically.
Yeah, I got to meet family on both sides of her parents.
Mom and dad's side.
Yeah, so that was really cool. But like I said, he's a really cool kid. We're just watching funny stuff, watching America's Got Talent and X Factor. The bloopers, not bloopers, but like the worst contestants of this, the fails of this, the people who didn't want to leave the contestant. It was just the funniest stuff of those episodes, and like there was no subtitles, but he got all the jokes.
Yeah,
he got everything. So I was like, okay, yeah, this dude is like, he is really. This goes to show, So like when immigrants come to other places, they have a focus, and when you're focused, you're gonna learn what you want to learn to be productive. So he's taking it upon himself. He's like, when I get to where I'm going, I'm gonna be, I'm not gonna be dependent on people to make it happen, because he started the process of learning the language. And I was like, how did you learn English so good? He's like, I watch a lot of movies and TV shows. I was like, there you go, man. Yeah. Now I'm motivated. I got to watch some more Eritrean movies like I was doing before.
Yeah, on Sundays as I'm making good.
Yeah.
Back to the ritual.
Yeah. So. This dude is, he's going to be, I think he's going to do some good things when he gets in either Canada or America, USA.
Yeah, they just want to be contributing, productive young people. That's all they're looking for, is a chance. So
because a lot of people come and they might even speak any parts of English.
Yeah, and they're not interested to even.
Yeah,
because to be honest with you, I've met people in both Canada and the US that have lived in both places for decades and don't speak English. Like they're just not interested in sort of integrating or really picking anything up because they're very immersed in their own. There's so much segregation in both countries that for some communities you can get away with that.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, young people who, want to sort of integrate, at least to some degree, and just have an opportunity to make a living for themselves and feed themselves and their families.
We had a good evening with him. Since we had to leave the Airbnb early, we offered for him to stay because we didn't know how to give the keys up to the guy. It was late. So initially, I think he said he was going to stay, but when he said that, I was thinking, I don't know if he planned on staying.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's 30, so I'm sure he's out there doing whatever as a 30-year-old would do.
Handsome young man.
Yeah, dude is
a
real handsome guy.
Yeah, he's the baby. He's such a cutie.
Yeah, he should be a real ladies' man.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I don't need to know about it as his big cousin, but I'm sure he is.
Yeah. So we finally we had to leave the Airbnb at like 10:30.
We left around 11:30 because our flight was at almost 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So.
I called a car. The guy came to get the key for the Airbnb. And the guy who got the key and the security guard. We were locked out of the building because they locked the doors after 10, I think, to the apartment building. So we couldn't get out. So I was handling the bags, and we went down. She took 2 bags down because initially the guy who came to get the key, he was saying that you can't put all those bags in the elevator. And I was like, I think he's just like, I don't know, like that don't make sense. So now I was like, we'll just put them all in there. I was like, well, let's just do one by one. Let's put two, because I don't want to have us. If he's saying it's not safe, I don't want to have, I don't know.
You want to be liable to repair the lift for the building.
Yeah. So anyway, we finally got all our bags down to the first floor. You had went to go look for the guard to see if he could open the door for us.
Yeah, I went all the way down to the garage and asked him if he would come up and open the front entrance to the building, which for security purposes they close at 10.
Yeah. Did he understand English, or did you speak to him?
No, he understood.
Okay. So yeah, all three of those guys, the guard, the guy that came to get the key for the host, and our own cousin, y'all helped us with our bags inside the taxi. And
that's it. We said our goodbyes to little cuz.
Yeah.
And
left him a little gift.
Yeah.
Tipped the other guys. Well, I didn't know you were like, they're waiting for a tip. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's what Nahum told me. So.
Yeah. So we gave him the tip. Yeah, that was it. I was like, man, I can't believe I'm leaving this place. Driving through the city at night with the, especially around Bole, around the airport, and it's all lit up. It's like, man, it's such a cool trip. Yeah, I'd love to stay here.
Yeah. Looking forward to our return for sure.
Yeah, but that's how I am. Like there's rarely a place that I went to where I didn't say, man, I could live here. That's what I always do. Anywhere I go, I'm like, can I live here? Yeah. Couldn't I live here? Yeah, I don't. There hasn't been a place yet where I don't think that I wouldn't be able to live. I've been to 13, 14, 15, 16. There was many countries over 13.
Yeah.
So.
Because you're easygoing, you're adaptable.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Yeah. You're the things I'm journalist about.
Yeah, you don't have to twist my arm or convince me of anything if I'm something. I do what I think. I think what would be the right situation for anybody. Like, what would be the logical situation? You go somewhere, learn the language, adapt, be part of the culture, learn the food, whatever. It's my thing.
What can I say? I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Jones.
And that's a good position to have. I'm a fan of yours. So yeah, that's it for a recap of 13, day 13.
Our last full day.
And then you guys saw the live we did at the airport,
right from the gate,
where I was just